was 1986. I was 11. We had an MSX computer at home, and I was into Konami games, which were, by far, the best available for the machine's first generation. That year, they released one of my favorite games on the MSX, Penguin Adventure. There's a story as to how I got this game. You see, this period of time was a transitory one. The MSX standard had been around for 3 years, and it was now clear it wouldn't reach its objective of taking over the world computer market. Hence, it became more and more difficult to find games in stores. They were already few in stock, and that year, they were all but gone. There were few specialty stores that sold MSX games, but they were too far away.
結局南極大冒険に挑戦中。おっと母さん、南極大陸一周はどうしたの？エンス対応結局南極大冒険。Konami.
Fortunately, there still was mail order. You'd find ads in magazines, and between us, I was very skeptical about this. Back then, there were no web pages for you to buy online with your credit card. You had printed catalogs, and you needed to send your check by standard mail. I had never done that, and that process was obscure to me. But I was confronted with a choice. Either try it, or continue looking at cool photos and magazines about a wonderful game I could never play. So I finally decided to do it. I asked my father to convert all my pocket money into a check and to send it to the advertised shop. I was doubtful. Was it real? This long-coveted, awesome item that I'd never seen in any store would arrive right at my door? Just like this? Surely something would go wrong. It sounded too good to be true. The check would get lost on its way to the vendor, or the parcel itself would be lost on its way to my house, or some other catastrophe. But several days later, the miracle arrived. The small package was there, in the mailbox, waiting for me. And inside, yes, that was it. I still remember, it was a bright, sunny morning, and I was overflowing with joy. And so, Penguin Adventure became the first item I ordered by mail, in that magical spring of 1987. Mere minutes later, I was playing this wonderful game. It was even better than I had expected. I cannot convey in words how I felt. I was in another world. This was a sequel to Antarctic Adventure, released in 1983, which also left sweet memories on my childhood self. How could you not love playing a cute little penguin racing on the ice? At the dawn of home computing, there were many shoot-'em-up games, but few where you controlled some cute animal on its way home. The only one I knew of at the time was Frogger. But unlike Frogger and Antarctic Adventure, which were also released on other machines, Penguin Adventure was exclusive to the MSX and was not ported anywhere else for years. Only much later did it get a Windows and then an Android remake. Back in the day, the game was available on the MSX only. A strange situation, since it was a great game. It should have at least been ported to the NES like most of the MSX titles, and that included many nowhere near as good as Penguin Adventure. In fact, this game was so great, Penta the Penguin became the MSX mascot. As for the story, Penta must reach a distant island where a tree grows bearing golden apples, the only thing that can cure the penguin princess from her illness. Level design and variety had greatly increased from Antarctic Adventure, where you basically had a sole ice shelf to skate on. Now there were forests, caves, water-based levels, deserts, and even some outer space bonus levels. The game is great fun to play. Just imagine, my kids today have grown up with modern games and have seen 100 times more gaming stuff than I when I was their age. They still love this little old game. They are as passionate about it as I was back then. This is the unique signature of great games. They wonderfully stand the test of time. But the game is also stressful. It's a constant race against time, and it gets worse with each level. And as you advance through levels, you encounter more treacherous obstacles and dangerous enemies. Every now and then, bonuses pass across the screen. They change color each time you jump. Collect the green one for extra time, the yellow one to become invincible for a few seconds, or the blue one to ride on a small cloud and avoid enemies on the ground altogether. You can gather fish all along your way, if you are prompt enough to catch them as they jump around. Doing this is important since fish are an exchange currency to buy useful things. Some pits are home to Eskimo merchants that let you trade fish for items, and to use the gambling machine to try your luck at even more fish. Some merchants will sell at bargain prices, and the Santa Eskimo will give you an item for free. Items can prove very useful, like the boots of speed, the propeller hat that makes you jump higher, or the feather that lets you control your fall. There are also a few weapons to choose from, and various armor that protects you against different types of creatures. Some of these are invisible unless you've bought glasses to see them. Other pits, very rare, are actually shortcuts to other levels. They bring you to hidden tunnels where you can travel at warp speed and skip 3 levels at once. This is extremely useful when you play for the 100th time and want to avoid going all the way again from A to Z. Every few levels you need to defeat a giant dinosaur by breaking the ice beneath it. If you manage that quickly, then cheerleader penguins may join your victory dance. The game features colorful and detailed sprites, as well as catchy and memorable music. The game's visuals are considered some of the best on the first generation of MSX machines, and Konami's dedication to them is clear in this game. The scene where you get the golden apple from its tree is really well done. Just imagine, this is a 1986 game running on an MSX1 with just 64K of RAM and 15 colors. So much of Penguin Adventure's appeal can be credited to simple but efficient gameplay. Its smooth, 3D-like scrolling was astonishing back in the day. To see it on the humble Z80-powered MSX feels nothing short of a miracle. The road back home from the tree island is very, very hard. When I replay the game now and experience its difficulty again after 35 years, I can hardly imagine how I would have finished it back then, without any possibility to save the game, or without any cheat codes. But I did. And I didn't even know about shortcuts, just made it all the way from beginning to end. Man, what a moment that was. There were a couple of friends around encouraging me. We were so excited. In 1987, there was no way you could see the ending of an original game without showing your own genuine skills at it. There was no YouTube to put you one click away from any game ending you'd like to see. Back then, you could only rely on your skill. With a rich variety of secrets, cool scenes, and genuinely compelling gameplay, Penguin Adventure is, in my opinion, the most emblematic game of the MSX. Not necessarily the best one, but the best showcase of the MSX spirit. Games like the Maze of Galious are deeper and more complex. The Nemesis and the Salamander series have become classics on the MSX, as well as on other machines. They revealed what the MSX is really capable of. They showed its guts, but Penguin Adventure showed its soul. Get ready to revisit the golden age of gaming. Join us as we journey back in time to experience the nostalgia and excitement of playing classic games from the 80s and 90s. We'll be diving into the world of retro gaming and showing you how these timeless titles still hold up today. So grab your controller and let's rock on an epic trip down memory lane. Keep the passion burning. Join the retro dream.